And for those that we cannot answer right now, we will answer to them on the HoloNet. So I hope that we will mention some of the questions, and I hope that the people are here will answer to the questions and ask if we gave clarification or if it needs more clarification. You want to start, Yves? Tu veux commencer? Donc, la première question. So how can a unit grow if the net surplus is given to Auroville completely? So that's what that refers to the first slide. No, actually, second slide. The second slide when we mentioned what actually Mother said. She was saying that the net surplus must be entirely put back to Auroville. But what we mentioned also, what I mentioned when I did the presentation is that what means net surplus? It means when whatever is left over after all requirements have been met, including wages and investments. And I suppose that investment is what helps actually a unit to grow. But if I'm mistaken, am I mistaken? No, it's okay. Okay. So just to clarify, it was based on that. Second question?
It's really benefit, in fact. It's vraiment des bénéfices.
Yeah, it's pure benefits. It's a pure benefits at the end that can be used.
I speak in French.
Yeah, he speaks in French and I translate in English. So that's the pure benefit that you're having at the end of the year. That's what we ask, that Mother asked to be put in full, to be put entirely back to Auroville, to help the collective and not just the unit. I had a question which is about, is it that the individual can choose freely his level of interaction? It's probably a man writing this. Of interaction based only on level of monetary input and consumption. We didn't mention any level, like to go from a step to another, there is no change on how much money we put in this monthly participation. It doesn't change. We mentioned that there is a participation of reference, which will be something that we will calculate based on the average of maybe probably even a lower average of what is generally consumed in Auroville. It's just already happening. That's also what we mentioned. We go from the existing situation. There is a local market. We want to give it an economical existence. There is consumption, local consumption. We want just to acknowledge it by engaging people in it. Like in Portuguese, it gives more relevance for the local market and it gives it strength. And also allow us to analyze, to quantify, and to forecast and adapt this local market if we have this engagement from everyone. And of course, there is no discrimination. It's not because you don't have enough money that you cannot go on the step 5. And also, we were saying that the steps will be self-managed. We can even imagine that the members of a group will allow somebody who will never be able to reach the point of reference, but because of the dedication of this person into Auroville, by the work this person is doing and all the contributions he has always been giving, that this person will be able to step up in the next step. Another question? How will local currency make Auroville more in line with the ideal of no circulation of money? I start, so you can complete. And the idea is that, I don't know if you got that idea, when we go towards a step 4 and step 5, the local currency is just a help to clarify the situation, to give more visibility to the local market. But then the step 4, and even better like the step 5, what we imagine, that's where we go into the time banking. When we go into gift economy, whatever they will choose, it will be, we are stepping forward towards the ideal more and more, but we cannot just do a big jump and like suddenly say no circulation in Auroville. If we all keep this in mind to think, Mother said no circulation of money, yeah, but how, when, and with whom? Here we give these progressive steps to actually allow people who grow with the collective towards more, let's say, consciousness in each level to see how we can as a collective, because it's only because we will be together that we will be able at one point to have no circulation of money, as I think. Quelque chose d'autre?
Avec une vraie monnaie locale, comme on peut la mettre en place.
With a real local currency as we want to put in place.
On peut améliorer des choses par rapport à l'actuel parce que aujourd'hui il y a encore des échanges en cash, en espèces.
We can improve the situation which is happening currently, where we still have exchanges with cash, with physical money,
Notamment avec les visiteurs
In-
de courte durée.
including with the visitors of short-term visitors.
Avec une monnaie locale, on pourrait vraiment ne réaliser que des échanges dans cette monnaie et supprimer tout échange en espèces.
So with this local currency, we would start to only include exchanges with a local money on the local market and exclude the cash inside Auroville.
Okay. Rien que ça, ce serait un pas supplémentaire par rapport à ce qu'on appelle la non-circulation d'argent à Auroville.
That would be already a next step for the no circulation of money in Auroville.
C'est pas tout à fait vrai. Et même entre nous, même entre Aurovilliens par exemple, un thérapeute va recevoir, peut recevoir assez souvent des roupies.
And because this is not even real, like we are still dealing with cash. Even between us, a therapist will receive cash from another Aurovillian.
Okay. Donc on peut aller un petit peu plus loin, et ça c'est grâce à la monnaie locale.
So to go a step forward towards no circulation, we can use the local currency as a next step, like from the euro card already, and we go another step forward.
Maintenant la question allait beaucoup plus loin que ça, puisqu'il s'agissait de non-économie, de no-économie. Donc c'est toute notre proposition pour aller dans le sens de la non-économie, mais on ne peut pas y aller directement.
That, as I was saying, is that the question was related to the no circulation of money, what we can call no economy,
Donc
and we go it there progressively.
on a encore besoin d'argent. Il ne s'agit pas de dire...
It's okay.
Ok. On ne peut pas aller directement à une économie sans argent, c'est-à-dire une no-économie. Nous sommes obligés de passer par des étapes dans lesquelles il y aura encore de l'argent. Et même, peut-être tu parles ?
It's like we cannot imagine to step into a no circulation of money economy just from one day to another. So we have to go it progressively.
Et même si on voulait supprimer l'argent, on ne pourrait jamais le faire. Dans le monde dans lequel on vit, on est toujours, et on sera toujours en dépendance de l'extérieur. Regardez un peu tout ce qu'il y a dans cette pièce et dites-vous, est-ce que tout ça, ça pourra un jour être produit à Auroville? Ou est-ce qu'on pourra s'en séparer?
So the idea is that we will probably always need to use money, to use this national currency, and you just have to look around you. Like Auroville will never probably be able to produce these chairs, this table, all the things around you. So for this, we need the money to provide that. Good.
Donc, on a donné comme step 5, un step qui serait plutôt familial, d'économie familiale. C'est pas pour rien, c'est parce qu'on ne peut pas aller dans la gift economy seul. C'est pas possible. On a trop de besoins.
So this is why we gave like this step 5 as a mode of exchange, like based on a family model, because we cannot go there alone. We need to go as a collective.
Voilà. Et une monnaie locale est vraiment l'outil qui peut nous amener à prendre en charge notre économie de manière interne et de faire exactement ce que l'on veut à l'intérieur d'Auroville. Avec une monnaie locale, on peut gérer les échanges entre nous exactement comme on veut, pas avec une monnaie nationale.
The local currency will allow us much more to deal on the local market, to be able to master this local market, to change it, to make it evolve, much more than if we use the national currency, which actually also carries all the fluctuation of the national or even international markets.
En fait, il y a beaucoup de questions qui reviennent à la compréhension de ce qu'est une monnaie locale. Donc, on avait fait une conférence il y a 6 mois de ça, là-dessus.
There is a lot of questions related to the local currency system. I have it also one here, and we based also this presentation on another presentation we did 6 months ago, where we described what local currency is and how it is used and how it can improve a situation. Here's a question, for example, how do you imagine having local rupees we create more abundance and trust in Auroville economy. As he just said, and when we show that, when we see clearly the visibility between the local markets using local currency and the external markets, you can quantify, you can analyze all the exchange happening, and then you can forecast. It's much easier to forecast and to adapt the market according to the circumstances. It can be a problem of monsoon or whatever. Like, this is happening on the local market, and you know where to put the strength, to put like the all collective effort. This gives us a tool, a real tool to manage our local market easily. Why is surplus needed? I don't read this word. Better to share at cost price. Local units services are not changing. Oh yes, that's the second one. Okay, so the first one, why is the surplus is needed? Is it not better to share at a cost price?
C'est sûr. Et ce serait mieux qu'on échange à prix coûtant. Mais les gens ne veulent pas. C'est tout. C'est juste que les gens ont l'habitude de faire des bénéfices. Parce que, attention, quand on parle de cost price, on parle de prix au-delà des marges, des salaires et des investissements. C'est-à-dire l'unité est sauvée, est en équilibre financier, et là, on fait des marges bénéficiaires, on gagne plus.
So the answer to this question for the surplus is that, of course, it would be better to always share at cost price, but people don't want, because people are used to the economical system on which we're working is always based on what to do with the benefits and the margin. And here, cost price, what we mean by cost price, we go back to the notion of gross product price. It means whatever cost to the unit. After that, including the wages, the investments, the cost of raw materials, of the products, everything, then starts the margin for the unit. And this is where we would like just to stop and to say that's the cost price, and whatever is a margin, that can be shared.
En fait, ce qu'on a introduit, c'est de dire que au-delà, les marges bénéficiaires, au-delà de ce cost price avec les investissements et les salaires, ce sont en fait des transferts de propriété. Les unités prennent aux individuels de l'argent. C'est par transfert de propriété. De l'argent qui leur appartient, ils la prennent d'une manière totalement forfaitaire. Et c'est ça qui fait le monde d'aujourd'hui. On essaye de faire des marges tout le temps, gagner plus que les autres.
So what Yves is considering is that when you put a price and when you have a margin above the cost price, this is actually what the individual is giving as a property. He's giving money to actually to allow the units to make a margin. So it's a transfer of property. And this transfer of property is that giving the rights for the unit to use this margin as they want, and not like really including the choice of the individual who had no choice to then paying the maximum retail price. So we speak here of a transfer of property when it's actually happening all around the world in that way, and that's why we have the situation in the world. It's like we are all transferring the rights, our power, through the consumption. We give it to the unit who are actually taking it on the margin, and they do whatever they want with this extra money.
Et ce que nous introduisons, c'est que les unités abandonnent ce transfert de propriété, qui est un surplus en fait, mais aussi dans le même temps, les individuels fassent également un effort, c'est-à-dire n'achètent pas vraiment au prix coûtant, mais achètent à un prix qu'on a défini comme étant raisonnable, de sorte que la différence entre le prix d'achat et le prix de vente génère un fonds commun.
So this is why we are asking the units to abandon this transfer of property. So they go only for cost price, and whatever margin is, it's surrendered by them. But in the same time, we also ask the individual, and that was on the slide with the price level, we ask the individual to not just benefit from a cost price, but for what we qualified as a reasonable price, which then we create a difference, and this difference will be mutually surrendered by the individual and the units, and can be put in a common fund that they would both mutually manage to benefit, to help the local market to grow.
Et par cette double acceptation des individuels d'un côté, des unités de l'autre, l'argent devient véritablement commun. Tout le monde a le sentiment que ce n'est pas son argent, c'est vraiment un argent mis en commun, un argent qui est dégagé en commun.
By this mutual surrender, like on one hand by the units who are not making any margin, and the individuals who are accepting to pay above the cost price, they both surrender this part, which give actually a mutual property. They will be both surrendering this and using it collectively. And they will feel that there is no property anymore. It doesn't belong to the individual himself or to the unit itself. It belongs to both of them, and even beyond, it belongs to all the collective.
Maintenant, je voudrais juste donner un petit mot en dehors des questions. C'est que si vous voulez imaginer ce que serait une économie fraternelle.
Yeah, so that's he's giving a comment beyond the question which have been asked. He's asking you if you want to imagine what is a fraternal economy.
Il n'y a qu'à prendre le modèle d'une famille, une famille unie, pas une famille avec des tensions internes. Hein.
You try to imagine a family, a united family, not a family with tensions and like.
Yeah, vraiment
like
une famille
fights.
unie. Essayez, je suis sûr que vous avez des exemples dans la tête qui vous viennent et voyez comment ça fonctionne.
So he is sure that you have examples in your mind. I struggle to have an example in my mind, but if you see like a united family, try to imagine how it works.
How it works. Comment fonctionne une famille unie? Une famille unie avec des parents qui ont des activités pour subvenir aux besoins de toute la famille.
Having parents in the family who are having activities which are helping to sustain all the needs of the family.
Et des enfants, éventuellement, dont le rôle aussi est important, c'est d'acquérir justement une conscience du mode de vie à travers celui de leurs parents.
And for the kids, having also an important role, which is to acquire the knowledge, the consciousness of how is it to run a family as their parents are doing.
Et les parents, quand les enfants ont besoin de quelque chose, c'est pas de l'argent, ça n'a pas du tout la même valeur que l'argent qu'on dépense autrement. On donne de l'argent aux enfants en fonction de ce dont ils ont besoin.
The value of the money is different than within the family because you're not counting and you're not analyzing whatever money you will give to your kids. You give it because they need it. Or you teach them not to give them because they don't really need it.
Sans penser, c'est trop cher pour toi. Je vais essayer de faire quelques économies et marchander avec mon fils.
Yeah, you're not trying to bargain with your sons or with your daughter, like trying to say, like, I give you this a little bit, but this is too expensive. If it's needed, it's needed, and then you give.
Et plus tard, quand les enfants grandissent, c'est eux qui prennent le relais des parents et créent leur propre famille. Et à leur tour, c'est eux qui vont assurer le niveau de vie de leur famille et aussi transmettre à leurs enfants cette balance entre un niveau de vie trop faible, de pauvreté, et un niveau de vie trop élevé, qui va au-delà de ce dont on a besoin.
And then it will be the turn of the kids who will be themselves creating their own family, where they will be also trying to sustain their own family and trying to find the balance between having like a poor condition of living or a really like extensive to luxurious way of living, trying to find a balance according to the needs. So they will learn step by step and then do it themselves and then teach it, transmit it to their kids.
Voilà, ça c'est une économie fraternelle.
This is a fraternal economy.
Il suffit d'augmenter ça au niveau de la communauté. C'est une communauté comme une famille. Si on arrive à faire ça, on arrive à faire une famille, une fraternité.
This is a fraternal economy, and imagining to extend this family economy to a community is not so difficult because we are a community and we're all here to live together towards the same dream.
Donc ça c'est l'étape 5, mais évidemment qu'on ne sait pas faire ça.
And this is a step 5, and of course right now we don't know how to do this.
C'est pourquoi il y a les étapes d'avant. Et les étapes d'avant, ça commence par partager, pas à rester avec des comptes individuels, justement parce que la nature individuelle fait qu'on n'a pas envie de le donner.
This is why we have previous steps, and it starts by sharing. Sharing to go away from the individual accounts, because having individual accounts doesn't really push us to share, to be in a collective. It pushes us to keep for ourselves, for individuality.
Non, c'est ça, on doit apprendre à partager.
We have to learn how to share.
Et c'est pour ça que une des clés principale de notre proposition, c'est d'aller à l'encontre des comptes individuels.
This is why one of the key of our proposal is, I would say it as I was saying it in the slides, is to contain the progression of the individual accounts.
Sinon, on n'arrivera jamais. On n'arrivera jamais à trouver une économie fraternelle.
That's it. Wait. Microphone. Yes.
Comment faire?
Wait. No. It's recorded.
I speak in French. Comment faire pour aller à l'encontre de comptes individuels?
Alors,
How to go against the progression of individual accounts? Tu veux dire?
Vas-y, si tu veux.
Tu peux.
Oui, c'est notre proposition. On a donné dans la proposition 5 étapes et 2 de ces étapes sont des étapes où on introduit des échanges indirects, c'est-à-dire qui passent par un biais collectif, d'une manière ou d'une autre.
So to go towards containing the individual accounts, we introduce several steps, and in these steps that we started by introduce the indirect exchanges. The indirect exchanges go through a collective.
Donc la première étape, à l'étape numéro 3, c'est de créer ce dont je parlais tout à l'heure, le fonds commun, à travers une différence entre prix d'achat et prix de vente, une entente commune entre les unités et les individuels, avec un abandon mutuel.
So this is what we started to do with the step 3, when we started to have this process for how to create a common fund who will be self-managed by the members of the same group and having unit services and members. So it's a first step. As we say, it's progressive, it's gradual. You don't go towards shared accounts instantly.
C'est pas un compte partagé.
But it's not a shared account at this step.
C'est
So
un
it's
fonds
It's
partagé.
just a common fund which is shared. This is the first step towards sharing. We share a common fund together.
Voilà, donc c'est cette notion on partage un fonds parce que chacun, mutuellement, entre les individuels et les unités, on met de l'argent dedans.
Because we share this fund because we have been mutually, the unit, services and individuals contributed to it, surrendered a part of the margin.
Et comme on ne considère plus que cet argent nous appartient, qu'il est vraiment commun, eh bien, c'est gagné. Là, on est passé à de l'argent qui n'appartient plus, qui n'a plus d'appartenance.
And because it's mutually surrendered, then we can really lose this idea of ownness, like this, that we own this money, that it belongs to us. We are like surrendering it. It doesn't belong to anybody but the collective.
Oui, la question est bonne. Je crois que tu as répondu.
I said it during the presentation. We said it's for the.
Sorry for my English.
That's okay. It's why is that? What is the purpose? What is the purpose of what will this common fund serve? That was the question. And as I said in the presentation, we said it will help the self-sufficiency. It will help the local market. It will support initiatives on the local market, for example, of somebody willing to create a unit to serve Aurovillians' needs, then it will be supported by this common fund. Or when we said to adapt, when we need to forecast thanks to this economical existence, we can forecast situations, and to adapt it, we can use this common fund. It will help to adjust this local market.
En fait, dans notre proposition, ce n'est pas tant de répondre à toutes les questions qui ont été posées, il y en a de très très nombreuses, mais nous, ce qui nous intéresse, c'est la démarche et ce que les gens vont, comment ça va changer, comment la relation avec l'argent change.
The proposal here, because we can't answer all questions right now, is just to see how the proposal is changing the approach of money. And especially when we say at the beginning that we like to make the distinction between the self-sufficiency economy and the economy of development. I'm just saying a little bit more than Yves, but it's to really say that, yes, we need money, but we don't need money to be self-sufficient. Otherwise, it makes no sense, right? It's like, we can't say we're self-sufficient, we have all our needs covered just because we make enough money. No, it's because we're working all together that we will have all our needs, all our daily needs satisfied. But then for the infrastructure, for the development, for the big big costs of Auroville to welcome more and more people, then yes. But that's another economy, and we're not saying it's bad. It's there. That's something else. So it's to change the approach of economy and money that we did this presentation for.
Voilà. Et quand petit à petit cette relation à l'argent change, les choses vont aussi, de nouvelles choses vont pouvoir voir le jour.
It's only when we will start to go into this this economy that we will see automatically new things appearing. It's because you're in a system. It's like what people said about time banking. You cannot think the problems of time banking if you're not in it. So here is like there is a lot of things which will appear. Initiatives, new initiatives will come because you're really like adopting the system.
Voilà, le marché local va pouvoir se structurer de lui-même, va être dynamisé par cette participation collective, par le partage des fonds. Les gens vont s'approprier le marché local et il va y avoir une dynamique dans le sens d'en augmenter la capacité. Aujourd'hui, c'est l'inverse qu'on a. On a totalement l'inverse. Le marché local, l'autosubsistance est en chute. On s'en fiche de l'autosubsistance. On pense qu'il est préférable d'aller chercher l'argent dehors.
So what he's saying is that it's by working and participating and engaging oneself in the local market, we will help this local market to get dynamized. We will dynamize this local market. We will help it to grow. And all people will be feeling like it belongs to us. So we'll all do a collective effort to make it grow and to reach a level when we can satisfy everybody. Because today it's not that. We have seen that how self-sufficiency is going down. And we need to rectify this move for more collectiveness towards towards collectiveness through a local market which can grow enough to satisfy everyone.
Aujourd'hui, on pense qu'il faut aller chercher les gens dehors.
Oh yeah, and that's why the problem is like what is coming now is that saying that we don't have enough money, we don't have enough to live in Auroville, and we need to get the money from outside. And that's what we want to shift.
We think it's needed.
We think that's what we need, to take the money from outside,
it's
to
wrong.
be self-sufficient,
It's
to
totally wrong.
to satisfy our needs.
It's wrong. Why? Look at the units. I have all the data of units. And in fact, but there is also...
Oui, tu parles en anglais là. That's good, it doesn't need me. Huh? So go ahead, I read.
No, there is also a great analysis made by Thomas and Thomas on the economy of Auroville since 1968 to 2015. And it shows that the turnover of the units on 1 year is about 130 crore a year. But the total expenditure of the units is close to 100 crore. So the gap, the difference between that is so small. And Thomas and Thomas show very well that all the units are giving globally, the result of all the units giving globally, has a big problem because they are in a big dependency of the workforce. And what you want to do with that, even if you... in English, ça va plus. Si vous augmentez le nombre d'employés, ça n'augmentera pas les bénéfices, ça n'augmentera pas les rapports des unités.
If you increase the number of laborers of external force, it will not increase the level of benefits and the level of the unit.
Ils l'ont très bien montré, je vous engage à regarder leur rapport parce que normalement il y a des courbes qui devraient monter comme ça et elles sont comme ça. Et ça, c'est vraiment le signe que les unités sont en très grande dépendance de force de travail.
So it has been well shown by the Thomas and Thomas that it's not by increasing the workforce the external workforce, that the units will increase their benefits, and we can really show it. It's a really good report, and so it's an illusion to think that by increasing the production level and having more and more workers from outside, that we will actually bring more money and more.
Et c'est bien pour ça qu'on n'arrive pas à s'en sortir, hein, parce que on fait pas le travail qu'il faut. On ne produit pas pour nous. On néglige le marché local, on néglige l'autosubsistance.
And this is why it's not working, because we are neglecting the local market and we are neglecting the self-sufficiency.
Donc vous pourrez faire autant de bénéfices que vous voulez à l'extérieur. De toute façon, il ne reste que 5% dans Auroville. 5%.
You can make as much benefits as you want outside. At the end, there is only 5% coming to Auroville anyway.
Ça rentre, ça sort. Ça rentre, ça sort, et ça ne fait que ça.
It comes in and it goes out, and it's circulating, but it's not staying, and it's not benefiting all the Aurovillians.
J'ai les chiffres si vous voulez.
He has all the numbers and the figures, if you want.
Donc c'est ça qu'il faut vraiment comprendre, et comprendre que la seule solution, c'est de reporter son regard sur l'autosuffisance et d'assurer cette autosuffisance. D'abord, la première chose à faire.
This is why it's necessary to rebalance the situation and looking at more in depth within the local market towards the self-sufficiency.
Après,
this is necessary.
On peut se tourner vers les besoins extérieurs.
And then we can
Oui.
go towards external needs, but not after looking at our own needs.
Mais pas de la manière dont on fait aujourd'hui.
And not in this
C'est
way
trop.
we're doing today.
C'est beaucoup trop.
A question? Maybe another? Oh yeah, this question. So we said there is so many questions. So like in the third part, is can a visitor change and participate in local currency? We've been thinking a lot about this, and that's because like the system is already like taking a lot of information for us, and we have been like trying to draw it according to the situation in Auroville. With the visitors, we said at the beginning that the units and services are supposed to provide all the daily needs of Aurovillians, but also of the visitors because they're here. So here, it's also for the future development of the system. We thought that as soon as you have an Eurocard, you're registered a visitor in Auroville, this Eurocard can function as a local currency. And because then it will be a local currency, we will also see if they're ready or not to engage themselves. I'm saying, for example, but that's really ideas that's also come personally from me, to say that if you put some money on your Eurocard, you accept that maybe you will not take it back. It's an engagement already on putting money there. It can be things like this. There's lots of ideas and there's lots of room actually for developing the system. Great model. That's nice. I'd love more clarity how this model supports the needs of community members who do not have sufficient own funds savings but are not on the maintenance. Yeah. So yeah, the 5 minutes? Okay, 5 minutes. Here, what we don't want to freak people out of saying that there is a minimum of participation and you can't participate and then you will have all the big maximum prices if you don't participate. Actually, the point of reference will be quite really reasonable according to all the needs of Aurovillians. We don't want to exclude people, as we said. There is even, like this goes also into more details, but we will make like the complete presentation, more than this, with more information, with more graphs on what we thought of incitements, and saying that if you cannot reach the level of participation, there are still ways to participate, but maybe with less lower price or whatever. But as we said, also is the question of each step. When you step there in this engagement step, it's the members. The members are managing their own step, and they would choose to help. It's also the common fund. Common fund is also here for that, right? We said it's about self-sufficiency, but if we speak self-sufficiency, we speak about the needs of all Aurovillians. If we consider that an Aurovillians need help, this common fund can be also used for these people. Because anyway, even if we use this common fund to help an Aurovillian, this Aurovillian will engage himself into consuming locally, and again, that's a circle. It just makes it circulate. This common fund is also not going to be invested in a bank outside, right? I mean, I don't know for those who have been in some other conferences, we don't want to invest this common fund and make interest on it. We want it to circulate within the local market to help the Aurovillians, to help the initiatives within Auroville. What is it? Paid? Did. Oh, sorry. There was a D. Did other communities try something similar? What was their experience? Oui. It's whispering secrets. Okay. So that's one of the key of this proposal. Is like I had the question. I think also. I think maybe that was the same person. There is no such experience in the world because it's a mix of many different ideas. But the most important is actually the Aurovillian economical initiatives. We base our proposal on what already exists in Auroville. So this makes it unique because Auroville is unique in the world. And having these initiatives, as we showed, Health Fund, PTDC, Nandini, the Seed Circles, Free Store, this is with them. And that's why we were inspired by this initiative that we started to build a system around them. That's it, we finished this? This page. If you remember participation, religious people can put in more, maybe more, no. This one I don't understand. How do you intend to move towards community approval? I think we will finish with this one. For the Auroville Foundation? That's also one of the points. It's not always really easy in every country to create a local currency. I don't know if you heard about the stories in Brazil with Pablo Bank. There are like rules, there are laws and everything. So here we don't want to actually start also like making our own money, you know, like making our own notes and all. It's only a writing on the accounts. And that's why we call it local rupees, because anyway, we will not need to use notes. It's not physical money. And this will actually be converted as the same. It's like one national rupee will actually represent one local rupee. But this local rupee, we will be able to track its circulation in the market. So this is no need to go towards Auroville Foundation for this aspect. But then, of course, after probably a few weeks or maybe a few months of roundtables and informing more people and like getting more into details, there are steps. I think is resident assembly and then a general meeting. And then if the proposal is accepted by the whole community, we will need, of course, team and people to help setting this up. But yeah, next step is first roundtables. And then we will see for residents assembly and general meeting.
Yeah, I would suggest also to have dialogues with FIMC, with the financial service and so on, and get them on the round table before you go further, because that are very important steps that the stakeholders are involved in the whole process.
Absolutely. We already talked to Otto, for example, and I would not say he said a green light, but he understood the concept, and before any further development, we'll of course see him, but he's aware of it. FMC, I've seen Amy, and I think now she's gone. Yeah, she went. So yeah, of course, we will go with the community. I mean, like that's something for the collective, so we should go collective. That's it. Thank you all really much. We'll, I don't know how we proceed. Maybe the Euronet probably. I really would like to answer all the questions. And then we continue on there, and we will let you know if we do roundtables. It will probably look like 1 or 2 hours every week on a specific day in a specific place. It can be, I don't know, anywhere, La Terrace, and then we just have talk and we can continue. We will leave the presentation in French and in English, the complete one, which is much more information than what you saw here. Completely available, open source, probably on the Euronet, I don't know. And maybe on special request for people who are not on the Euronet, we asked you like to fill up the questionnaire, and that's it. And if you want to participate, of course, yeah, let us know. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Yves. Thank you, the Lotus Group, and thank you, all of you. Have a safe getting home, and please, If you feel like inspired to help to bring back the chairs and cushions, would be most appreciated. And on the 21st? On the 21st, we have the next cat on volunteers. Journey to volunteering land.
Tu me donneras la conférence en français.
And on the 28th, we have a cat by Auroville.